And welcome back to the vlog. Morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are watching it. Today we are going to be working on the G35. So I know since the last videos, if you guys watched the last videos, the G is now fixed. So in the past, I think like 3 days or so, I put about 1,200 miles on it and it has been running well. So we'll go over that in just a little bit, but the reason you guys clicked on this video is the coilovers. So today we will be installing some True Heart coilovers. Also, I just want to take a quick gander at this giant trunk space. Look at that, 4 wheels. Probably could fit another one on top. Set of coilovers, some basic covers, engine covers and stuff. We'll go over those in a little bit. I ended up picking those up yesterday, traded for the SSRs. And I've also got some other wheels inside the car. So hopefully some drift spec spares for the G, as well as maybe selling a pair to some homies. That homie might be Vithy because, you know, twin cars, twin interiors, twin years, might as well be twinned up on some different wheels. We also do have a GK Tech bolt-on angle kit. This is basically a tie rod end link relocation. It moves the tie rod end link so that you have more turning radius. I think it says it adds about 20 degrees of full lock, so that's pretty sick. And then sitting over here, I did pick up a welded diff off Dior. So shout out Dior, Mr. Jason Frank. I heard you were the one that welded this up, so hopefully those welds hold. If not, I'll be coming for you. But no, all jokes aside, I'm excited to get that in. Like I said, angle kit, welded diff, coilovers, wheels, and then probably some custom suspension stuff here down the road. So let me start taking some of this stuff out the car. We'll get the car in the air and let's dive into this coilover install. Now that she's in the air, let's take a look. By the way, these are VSMXs, VSXXs, and these are Volk-Ray Challenges. I always forget, it's F-Stop, F-Sport, F something. I'll look it up and I'll tell you guys, F something, but they're the one-piece, 5-spoke. I do believe they are the forged aluminum, so they'll take a beating, as they obviously have already. But these I think will be pretty cool, and they are a great spec for the rear of the G. But let's take a look underneath, because this thing is so clean. From the bottom, you guys can tell already, everything is quite dry. Big suitcase exhaust, suitcase muffler right there. We'll zoom in on that. That will have to go. I do want to say, I want to leave this car somewhat quiet. It does have test pipes already, and so I've got a white pipe just sitting around. I think it's actually Vithy's. Probably forgot it here. Might test fit that one time, but we'll see about maybe getting rid of that suitcase muffler, putting an actual exhaust on this thing, just to use ones I part together, or putting in some, I don't know, mufflers, resonators or something. But it is a 2-piece stock suspension, meaning that you have the strut, which is completely separate from the spring. A lot of the coilover suspensions, I'd say old school, as well as still most of the coilovers that you will see online, are 2-piece. They have a smaller spring with adjustment perch, which basically allows you to adjust the height of the vehicle by how far the spring sits up and down, and then a strut. What we went with is a 1-piece coilover. That means this can be replaced with a camber arm. You no longer need a spring. Everything is on one coilover instead of just a strut, and it makes it super easy to put suspension and adjustable arms, as well as messing with height. You get rid of this, you get rid of the bucket, which I'm gonna leave for a little while because you can, and we'll just take out the spring. Everything will be on the coilover and we'll have full adjustment. Super easy. And then when it comes to dialing in camber, toe, caster, all of that, it's just adjustable arms and makes it easy with the spring being gone. So I'm gonna start diving in, start taking apart. I'll show you guys what I do real quick, just so if you are watching this as a how-to, not gonna be crazy how-to video, and then we'll go with the flow. I do wanna show you guys the underneath of the front when we lift that up because it is really clean as well. So let's get some tools and let's get started. About 5 minutes into it, actually really easy to pull this spring compared to what I thought. I just loosened up the 17 here, just loosen up the back bolt. It'll allow the whole thing just to drop down. Those are 12s up there, and then this is also 17. Before I put these coilovers in, because they are used, I wanted to match them up and make sure, one, they are the same height. I will say buying used coilovers, you never know if preload's adjusted, you never know, what people did to them or the condition of them. Both of them are a little bit off, shows that one is a little bit shorter than the other for the fronts, and then same for the rears. But just to make it easier for adjustment, I also went ahead and cleaned this up. I put WD-40 on all of the threads. I'll show you guys over here. This is how they looked originally. Dirty, dusty, and then when I broke this loose, it didn't want to spin by hand. So best thing to do is get a little bit of WD-40, get it all up on those threads and such. And then I actually took a metal brush, let's see if I can find it, here we are, and then I scrubbed some of the threads. So not only will this clean it up, a good bit, but once you actually have the collar loose, you will be able to adjust it by hand. Makes it so much easier to adjust it when you're actually in the car. So what I just did is I used a screwdriver because I don't have the coilover keys. Put a screwdriver just like that. See if she can zoom into there. I put a screwdriver just like this, hit it with a hammer on the back, and it ended up coming loose. Cleaned everything up, and then I was able to spin that bottom collar by hand. So I'm gonna finish up with this one. I'm gonna do those to the fronts real quick. We'll make sure everything's even, and then we will start installing on both sides. It is a hot, nasty, and bright one out today, just the way I like it. But the rears are done. I put this wheel on just to kind of show you guys a bit of a reference. Not too bad, it's kind of just above the tire, and we can always mess with that, especially because I have other springs for the rear and the front. I'd left this one off just to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. So, spring is gone. Spring bucket, still there. You can still get a couple degrees of adjustment for camber, as well as it kind of helps a little bit of toe because you don't have that much toe adjustment, but the coilover is on. So we got about 10 threads to go. These springs seem really, really tight, so I have a feeling that preload is crazy high on them. So I guess maybe when we take the coilovers off and change out the springs next week or following week, we can mess with some of that. Probably should put these wheels out or up inside before they get super baked, but I'm gonna throw the other wheel on, lift it up, throw it on some wood, get the jack stance down, and then we will start on the front. I'll show you guys the front suspension setup. It is a true suspension setup, upper control arm, spindle, lower control arm, and then the coilover bolts to the frame or strut tower, and then to the lower control arm. So probably easiest thing is just gonna be taking off that spindle. We'll see how hard that lower control arm nut is gonna be to get off. If not, then maybe we'll just pop the upper off and then slide the coilover through. But let me get that in the air. I'm sweating, I'm drenched. My shirt is like, could wring it out. Go Knowles, baby. And I thought the rear was easy. The front made it even easier. So about like 20-ish minutes later or so, finished up with the coilovers. Kind of about where the rears were when they were in the air. So I'm gonna just kind of leave it where it's at. About same threads showing, like 10 in the rear, 10 in the front. Could always be different, but just kind of worked out a little bit all the way. Also, check it out. Super, super clean engine bay. No leaks. Knock on some wood. I'll find some wood, but no leaks underneath. Super, super dry. Super clean. Oh yeah, and full solid motor mount. So definitely feel it in the car when I'm driving it, but I cannot complain. It is one less thing that I had to do, and I know those are miserable because Vitti is going through it right now, changing his out. So He's going from OEM to OEM, but his were completely shot. It looks like my toe, well, it looks like this one's a bit out, but it also looks like this one is a bit in. So hopefully it'll be quite straight. Rears, I'll need to mess with some. Fronts, I'll need to mess with some, but I'm gonna stop talking. We'll see if we can get this down. It is on the sway bar, and I put a little piece of concrete right there, so we'll see if it's enough to let it slide out. And I'm thinking, there we go. Not too shabby. I did zip tie the brake line and the, I think, ABS sensor or wheel speed sensor, because the stock ones bolts on. This is where the brake line goes, and then this is where the ABS or wheel speed sensor goes, just like to kind of hold it up. Well, the coilovers don't have that, so I just used a zip tie, made sure those are tight and out and about so we don't hit them while driving. But yeah, let me pull this out real quick. We'll see how she looks. Make sure we're not rubbing on any turns and stuff, and pretty solid height right now. And here we are. Car is on the ground. Drove it around the block real quick. Doesn't scrape, at least not yet, not till things settle. And I got full lock. At least I've tried it. I didn't hit any bumps while doing it, but Vithi just called me and he has been struggling with his motor mounts. So because I finished this a little bit earlier than I thought, I'm gonna bring a couple tools, see if I can go help him with that real quick, and then slide on back. So this will be the maiden voyage on the coilovers. I don't have an alignment, so I'm not gonna drive too much. And then maybe this evening or tomorrow morning, I'll dial in the alignment, I guess, as best as I can before I go to go somewhere to do it. So super hyped with it. Actually looks really, really good in my opinion. Front caster, it seems to be straight. Fronts are just a little bit sunk in. Might put the caster a little bit forward, but I like it so far. Let's hop into AC and see if we can go help Vithi. And we made it safe and sound. Slip is on, drenched in sweat, but she rode well, so I'm super hyped. I had decided not to take the nasty little entrance and just park up in the shade. I think he's whizzing over there. Can't even see. So this guy still has a GS, you know, in case you guys weren't aware, sitting way over there.
No, we'll just block backyard out.
So my call out fee is $75, and then every hour. Yeah.
Remember that day we did those sensors and was that on the vlog?
No, I don't remember.
Oh,
I don't remember this.
it's so different.
Bro, that looks cheddar, dude.
Oh, wait, okay, it looks a lot easier. We pull that heat shield off and you can see it a whole lot better now.
Where is it on the camera? Oh, I guess it's in the shadows. Let's see. There we go. Damn, shit won't even. There we go.
The other half of the mount was by your right foot.
Yeah, I peeped. Oh, very nice. Bro, it's so bright out that, like, I'm having so many troubles with shade and things.
It is.
Like, trying to get things to.
Oh, yeah,
to
like
get.
that's dark as hell down.
I know, I'm saying. You got the other side already?
No, I'm not doing the other side. Fuck that. That side didn't break, only this side did. I'll worry about that side when that side breaks.
Okay, guys, well, dude, disregard. I said Vithi does things right, but
come look at this side.
I guess he's doing things left, because...
Come look at this side. Where is it? Hey!
Spaghetti, spaghetti, bro.
Where's it at?
This is how Vithi feels about motor mounts. Finally got it off.
It fell somewhere.
So, I guess a trick... Oh, here's the nut. Bro, this nut probably got to be replaced.
Yeah. It came with new ones.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
But, all right, long story short, if you're doing these engine mounts, move the compressor. There's 2 long bolts, and then it just kind of slides off. Everything else can stay. Undo the test pipe. Yo, did we have to actually undo those test pipes?
It was just to make room.
Oh, the bracket. No, the test pipes didn't part from each other. It was the brackets on the bottom.
Yeah,
okay, so just take off the brackets on the Y pipe. Take off the 6 header, nut, bolts, whatever. That's why you have to move the compressor, just because of this one. All of the other ones are not that hard to get to. And then that leaves you room to get straight through here, move the header around.
Whatever.
I don't even know what that was.
A little heat shield thing.
But yeah, we moved the header around, got a swivel, use a 6-point if you can. Boom, went on there, hit it with the impact action, and finally got it off. So he's been working on it for like 3 days, and it's just been like, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna pay somebody $200, and then it just is way more money to do these if we were to pay a homie or something, just because they know how hard and painful it is. So, oh yeah, and the heat shield came off pretty easy. It's like 3-4 bolts.
4, yeah.
They're like 10s, right?
10s, yeah. We snapped one, but whatever.
Oh well, at least this is done. It is evening. I gotta go meet Dre to go press some shirts. So if you guys slept on the last merch order, well, that's your fault. Stay tuned for the next one and maybe have some more fire, but limited drop. No more tri-spoke, prisoner to tri-spokes. So you guys slept, but I'm about to be out of here. We'll catch you guys when we get home, and
I got one thing to say though. Logan's wearing a UCF shirt right now. I already said
go Knowles, by the way.
Okay,
this is my work shirt because I can get it. Because I can get it nasty and gross. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. I'll catch you guys at home on another toasty Floridian Monday. We obviously got Diesel hanging out with us. You know, he's got his little treat going in the shade. Okay, yeah, I'll stop bothering you, but as you can tell by the title already, we are going to be installing some angle stuff. Some bolt-on angle, not the full lower control arm and tension arm or tension rod adjustability, but this will, from what I've read, allow up to 60 degrees of turn radius. So I think that's like 20 degrees more, 15, 20 degrees more than stock. So super hyped about that. Got these from a buddy, Lunar S2K. Appreciate you, buddy. Got his spindles right, and we worked out a deal on these GK Tech bolt-on. So went and got some hardware today because we also have a welded diff sitting over in the trees that we are going to be putting on. Missing 2 pieces of hardware. I did get this differential from Mr. Dior. Shout out Sly Dior. I appreciate you, buddy. He called me. He picked up a Z, said, yo, I got a welded if you want it, and as long as you're going to keep the car for a while. So I guess we're keeping the car for a while, but we'll be throwing that in. Don't know how much fluid is in it, as well as some of the fluid leaking out. So we picked up some 75 W90. This is GL5. So everything I've read, they say GL5. Do not use GL4. Do not use GL69. Use GL5. And these came in from a buddy out in Georgia. These are 28K 5-inch. Yeah, 28K 5-inch Swift springs. If necessary, depending on the skids and how we're feeling tonight, those might be going on the front of the G. So don't know what the stock True Heart coilover spring rates are. They're a bit stiff, but today I heard my first rub kind of when I was going a little bit quick and turned into something. So we'll see how the fitment is. I don't have, you know, adjustable uppers or lowers yet. So with that being said, we don't have much adjustability when it comes to fitting wheels with tilt, but I do want to get some lower tilt, whether it is extending the lowers or throwing on some adjustable lower and tension arm. So we'll play it by ear, but let's go over to the G and we will show you guys the terrible, terrible stock angle that we've got on it. Yo, check that out. Yo, key fob boys, black interior, rev up 06, CD09, CD009, 6-speed boys. But let's see. Yeah, we'll just turn it on. Exhaust leak. I got that exhaust leak pulling out of Justin's driveway the other night. So, head. Oh, I don't even have my phone on me. Get rid of the dirty smells in your car. Ozzy and Pack sponsored. Psych, we're not sponsored, but if anybody watching this wants to sponsor the vlogs, let's go ahead and get our sponsorships going. Bada bing, bada boom. That is so bad, and that is maxed out. Oh wait, yeah, barely anymore. The solid mounts are putting in work. If you're wondering what that noise is, but dude, check that out. That is so bad. You can just barely see the tire. I don't even know what, let's see, what degree is that? Maybe 90. I don't know, 45, 50 degrees maybe. But check that trailing tire. It's like no angle at all. Trash. So we're gonna change that today. I'm gonna throw the rear, actually, I'm gonna throw the front up in the air. We will start taking some stuff apart. Should be pretty self-explanatory, but I will let you guys know the process, how easy it is, so that you can do it at your house by yourself with ease. About 20 minutes later, these are the tools you will need. 14 hammer. I use that to get off the tie rod because it was stuck in the knuckle. I think a 17. Tried using this, didn't work. I did use this to get the nut loose for the actual inner tie rod, and then I use these dikes to get the cotter pins out. Other than that, I think 19, 17, 14, and then your basic tools. I did leave on this bump stop because I want to put the angle kit on and see what or if it hits, and then see about taking it off, just so I can tell you guys for sure to either take it off or leave it on. But I do believe that is a 19, so we will see. This side is on and tight. I'll show you real quick. There is a 19 that used to be right there. You'll take that off. You'll take off these two 14s, and then there is, let's see, there is a nut on the bottom of the knuckle, and that is also a 19. So if you loosen that one, and then you continue to try to loosen it, and then the ball joint in the knuckle just spins as well, just put the jack underneath the lower control arm, cause some tension, and then boom, you can zap that one off. Show you what the stock looks like real quick. Pretty much the same thing I just showed you. This is the stock bump stop held in by two 14s. And then this is the stock location for the 19 that I told you guys about. It's dark, but it's right there. It's on top, and then the new location basically is right there. So you won't utilize that, but time to grind on this. I think it's been like 20-ish minutes. I got this side done and tight. I'm gonna do the other side. We'll test that angle, and then we will get to the differential here in a minute. Check this out. The tire ain't like right here no more. Bada bing, bada boom. So I did just put the wheels on though and maxed them out. I'm like, okay, looks like the same. Went underneath and figured that it was hitting the stock bump stops. Super easy to take out. They're just 19s. Zapped right off. I just turned the wheel a little bit, opened up some space, boom, put the impact on it, but haven't put it on the ground yet. Still, that is a good bit more angle. Tell you can get some positive camber out of that, which means we got to add some tilt, you know, because obviously the I think it's the following wheel you're supposed to have at 0, and the front wheel can be a little bit off, or vice versa. I think at full lock. Nah, I correct me if I'm wrong, but the trailing doesn't matter as much because it never gets the same amount of angle as the lead wheel. But to my understanding, lead wheel should have the most angle as well as zeroed out camber basically at full lock. So looks like we're at maybe like 6 degrees of positive tilt, which means angle kit or some sort of front tilt. Here we come. Front tilt is personally my favorite, if you guys can't tell by the Laurel. We've got -13 up front and just stock lowering in the rear. I think it's like 3 degrees or 4 degrees or something, but front tilt superiority, I'm telling you. We'll throw this thing on the ground. I did leave the inner tie rod nut as well as the adjustment pieces like semi-loose, just so I can get under there later and align it myself. Makes it for a lot easier adjustability for toe in, toe out. Maybe I'll do that with Tyler later when I can have somebody hold the steering wheel straight. Weather did come and go, but the stock diff is out. I want to give a big shout out to James and Emron. They pulled up, they helped me out. Definitely was an easier task getting the stock one out and starting to put the stock one or the welded one in. 117 on the back. The axle bolts are 14s, and then 17s are the bolts that hold the drive shaft on. I'm putting it to a pause right now. Ty's getting off work, I gotta meet him at the gym. We're getting into that grind, eating better, drinking better, you know, the whole spiel. But bolts and stuff will have to wait until this evening. Diff's kind of just being held up right now. I did have one kind of a little bit issue with one of the bolts going in that holds the front of the diff. This one right here. So hopefully that's not stripped. If not, well, I'll take the bolt out, I'll put a nut on it, you know, clean up the threads and stuff, wire brush it, whole shebang. But these are 17s, these are 17s, and then these are 14s, and this is a 17 here on the rear, and then it is 12s for the speed sensors. Yeah, other than that, I got the fluid and stuff. I'm gonna drain it later, but I gotta change, I gotta head out, I gotta meet Ty, and then this evening I'll come back, throw the rest of that stuff together, and also hopefully it rains, save some tires, have some fun out in the skids. Back from the gym and finalizing the rear diff swap out on the G35. I had the wheels on here to help with the rotation, and I'm talking about of the axles, just to make it a little bit easier. But now I am mating up the axles. I just finished up with the diff. If you cannot get up in there with a 1/2 inch and a long 17, grab a 3/8 long 17 and ratchet. I promise it'll make it a bit easier. The socket is not as long and the ratchet is not as thick. And then also a tip, take off the sway bar from the two, I want to say 14s right there, the bracket and the bracket. Promise it'll make it so much easier for dropping the diff, because then you can just move the sway bar wherever you want, and it's super easy to put those brackets back on, especially instead of taking off the end link. So I got those side on of the axle. I'll be putting the speed sensors in, and then once these axle nuts and bolts are tightened up, everything is tightened. Of course, I'm gonna have to spin the drive shaft and put it in neutral, move the wheel around and stuff, just so I can make sure I tighten all 6 of those. After that, we will be draining the fluid. There is the drain for the diff, and then the fill for the diff is on the other side. So I do get some 2 gold tooth. It's like a full set of hardware, and then you got 2 gold teeth, you know what I'm saying? But those nuts and bolts, well, those bolts and washers are to fill the missing ones. I could have taken the ones off of the other diff, but I was already at Ace. I totally didn't think about it. And now at least the holes are filled and I have all of the stock bolts still on the diff. So that's super cool. Don't know how this fluid looks or smells, but it is a 338, 336, whatever it is. We did the rotations of the axles compared to the drive shaft and figured that out earlier. And this diff is the exact same. Drove the Laurel to the gym today. Super funny, like seeing these two next to each other. LS makes everything look so small, like high. I was gonna say small, but high off the ground. Laurel really isn't that low, but yeah, that's hilarious. Anyways, let's get back to this. Vithi and I are going to have to get our cars ready and prepped for tonight's skids. Hopefully it sprinkles and stuff a little bit. I say that, but I have no windshield wipers. Like, I have them, but they're completely disintegrated. Like, it makes it worse when it's really bad rain when I go to use them. So we shall see. If not, at least the ground's gonna be cool, and we'll try a couple spots. Tonight's gonna be nothing crazy. It's just gonna be, you know, feeling out the car and first skids together. So let me throw this in. It'll probably be dark, and we'll drain that fluid here in a couple. God, oh, left-handed is a bit hard. What's up,
yo,
son?
what's going on?
Bro, the camera's fogging up so much.
How's it going?
Oh, you know.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
Bro, noise is gone. I don't think I told the vlog, but I took the Welded for the first drive with Tyler, and it sounded like an RC car. Like, every time I would give it gas and stuff and I'm on throttle, it would just So, bro, and it went faster and faster every time. So I had a feeling it was something rotational, but I went and hit the back of my neighborhood and did some skids real quick. And after that, like, it went away, so it drove fine. I will say the angle kind of, like, after you start going to a certain amount of lock, it like wants to like overlock and kind of lock itself. So we'll just have to play with that, or maybe I'll custom make or just cut some of the bump stop, the stock one, but ready for some skids tonight.
I'm gonna put a door mark right there.
No, he's not, bro. My $5,000 million car.
Come on, bro.
You wouldn't be allowed in drift games no more, bitch.
Why not?
Mismatched colors, zip ties. You have to be a show car to drift now.
It's carbon fiber.
Carson and Flyers.
All right, starting out the night, we in the drift whips. We finna get sideways. It's your boy Dre, and let's have some fun.
I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like,
Yo, so we found a little spot to get a little jiggy with it. So we outside right now. Got logged. Just to hit a little circle on us. What was that sound over there?
We're learning out here, boys.
Honestly, they can't see you, so I'm gonna let you up.
We're learning out here, boys and girls in Mexico.
What the fuck is that sound over there?
Yep.
how do we get to the bridge? Oh, is it that street right there?
All right, then we find a little spot.
The main road too.
A little spot we might chill out for a little bit.
Now they can go around now.
So we'll see. Logan, you going first?
Probably.
Set the light. How you feeling right now?
I mean,
you feeling how you feeling?
yeah, I mean, front grabs a bit and I gotta get used to it. But the welded lets it get sideways like really easy, so I'm hype on that. But I don't know. I mean, I never really like drifted like that. I've just, you know, hit some corners and stuff, so learning process.
You heard it here first, guys. You guys are gonna witness greatness. You're gonna witness the next DK. He got it. He saved it. So go. How you feel about that?
You look, you gotta stop there at the end, you know.
Oh, he's not done! He's not done! Dude, we get it. You freaking vape, bro. Let's get a live interview. How you feeling right now?
Pretty good. That was like my first like Manji. When I shifted to second, I just gave it gas and didn't like drop nothing.
Yeah.
So like straightened out a bit. I just threw it sideways, but
When did you shift second? Like, kind of like going, you start going that way?
yeah,
How's it feel?
not bad.
It smokes quite a bit.
Yeah,
This road was clean just now. I was all the sparks right here.
fire.
Yeah, I think you left your mark, pal.
Fucking go. The first like fucking
Figure 8 type?
Figure 8, yeah.
Yeah.
Just locks up a little bit, but I was kind of like letting it go. I think I'm gonna just keep like hands on the wheel a little bit more and like stop it.
Yeah.
Learning.
Audience review.
I can vlog now.
Yeah, I took a break, y'all. Vlogging is very hard work. I need a snack and shit.
No headlights look better considering I'm missing a
What did I do, bro? Did I have headlights or not?
Yeah, no, they were off.
Oh, okay.
Everything was off.
Yeah, try no headlights.
Right.
There you go, second.
Water bottle back there, it flew and it had ice in it. I thought glass broke. I was like, what the fuck? No, I'm gonna hit one more. It was kind of
First to second real quick was smooth. There you go. Did I throw one?
Is he gonna make it across the tracks before the train? Oh my god! Oh my god! He's hitting the gas!
Oh!
He's hitting the gas! Oh!
Oh! Oh! Bro, I thought we were filming a movie out here, bro. I heard. Yeah.
It's a quick way to get to work.
Well, I mean, the car slows down a lot with the e-brake though.
Yeah. Bro, when you whipped it, I thought you were coming in good, and then it just like,
It just.
the thing is you
came
have
up
you
shallow.
have angle. So
Yeah.
if you came in a little bit
I think
more
I
to
go
angle,
out
but
wider and hotter.
You just tried clutch, did you?
I don't
Instead
know.
of pulling the e-brake.
Because the thing I like about clutch kick is it slows the car down, but throws it to angle. So if I come in faster, like, and I was more comfortable with the e-brake
true.
for this type of